snooze, you lose. Severely bruised if you're looking confused. I'm a motherfucking leader, I don't follow the rules. You can see I'd have been winning if you look at the clues. What's wrong?
It's me, take me as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I'm in no take no talk, gangster from the walk, can't take it all. I say, it's me, take it as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I can't take no talk, burn them with the torch, burn them blood clot. It's me, take me as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I'm in no take no talk, gangster from the walk, can't take it all. I say, it's me, take it as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I can't take no talk, burn them with the torch, burn them blood clot.
I'm really tired of working hard from this point on, I'm doing me. I was born to be a boss and you can't take it out of me. I was born in the ghetto, I was raised in the street. Had a lot of life blessings, this is what it made me. You can't take it out of me, I can't shake it out of me. I was taught to keep it real, I can only keep it G. That's the way it's gonna be. If you don't like it, it don't matter. Keep it straight up to the point and not a lot of chit chatter. I know it's fucking cold to be the fucking boss. You play this game, you have to learn to take a fucking loss. You never know who's watching, you never know who's plotting. You never know the reason, never know who need a profit. Gotta learn to have your own back, cause it can be your friend. The same nigga that shot me week before, he was my man. And couldn't understand why someone wanted me dead. Somebody hate me so much that they wanna see me disappear.
It's me, take me as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I'm in the
Cause it can be your friends.
can't take it all. I say, it's me, take it as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I can't take no talk, burn them with the torch, burn them blood clot. Over the money, me touch special ed. Me need every penny, me need every cent. Pack it up and full, got down my length. Judge, I give me straight to what I go on with this. Me never talk. See how them a floss, see how them a point them finger, them a laugh. Go on with them talk. I am a perfect 10, them can't go on with them. Hey, wait a minute in this song.
Hold it.
Try to take me and I'm trying to put a price on me head a penny times. And I give a them a what them talking, them can't stop up. In a me city, them a crime murder. Them talking the murder. No city I no get no better than this one, yeah. Be more when me city living a. So clever jumping them the people leave. Take me as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I'm in no take no talk, gangster from the walk, can't take it all. I say, it's me, take it as I am. Gangster from the streets, I am a perfect 10, nobody can't rate me. I can't take no talk, burn them with the torch, burn them blood clot.
Every one of them bleed, cause I got what every one of them need. A motherfucking backbone, but don't none of them see it. I'm sorry for your disappointment if you wanted to be on some soft ass shit that ain't me. Niggas try to take my life, I'm on key to scrap on me. See la vie for the right fee. Them on me, I'ma rep my shit. I'm the king of my throne. You can put me anywhere and I'ma find a way home. A way of my own. Shit, they label me a 10 and I'm just making amends. But before I was a 10, I had a man at 10-10s. Youngin was a fool if he mumbled, he fool. If you snooze, you lose. Severely bruised if you're looking confused. I'm a motherfucking leader. I don't follow the rules. You can see I'd have been winning if you look at the clues. What's wrong?
It's me.
Oh boy.
Take me
Let's
as
get
I
it.
am. Youngster from the streets. I am a perfect 10. Nobody can't read me. I'm in no take no talk. Youngster from the wall.
If you're looking to
Can't take it all. I
choose,
said, it's me. Take it as I am. Youngster from the streets. I am a perfect 10. Nobody can't read me. I can't take no talk. Burn it with the torch. Burn them blood clot.
say no. What's going on, y'all? Y'all know I had to come here with some off the wall foolishness, man. That's just how it goes down. Listen. Oh, let me turn this down over here. So to make sure my audio is good. Man, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Urban Curse, and I'm back with another live stream. I have not done one of these in a little bit. And when I mean like a little bit, probably like a week and a half or whatever the case may be. But today, we are the... Oh, shit. Look at me. Already stumbling over words. That's how I know it's going to be a good one. When I start stumbling over words right before we even start, that's what I'm talking about. So today, we going to be going over this R. Kelly victim. And it's sad to say that this woman even had to go through what she had to go through. And if you were coming up when I was coming up, you may have stumbled across this somehow. You know what I'm saying? What's the deal? So you probably came across this somehow, right? And for me, I've been wanting to hear what this young lady had to say for a long time. And then I said to myself, damn, she's not young anymore. She's literally like my age. So when she was going through everything that she was going through, she was a teenager just like me. And to hear her side of some of this stuff, I really want to read this book at this point. But just from this interview, I got to give her props for even showing her face and coming out and doing all those different things. Because for years, this woman was, I mean, we looked at her as a girl for so many years. Now we look at she's a grown woman. But this girl at the time was being ridiculed and everything for the things that he did to her. I don't know how much I can say on YouTube, so I'm trying to see. Yeah, R. Kelly did some off the wall shit. Let's just say that. If you want to go find out what he did, I don't know how to word it without, getting checked off of YouTube. So we're gonna get into the interview first, right? And then we're gonna get into a couple other interviews with his wife, with R. Kelly himself, just to go back, and then also another quote unquote victim, but not victim. This one is a victim for sure, in my eyes. I'm sorry, he groomed her and did some other off the wall foolishness that you know what I mean, from young. And a crazy thing, before we get it started, I remember being in high school and most of the girls were messing with grown ass men. And I'm like, nobody thinks this weird? I'm like, I don't think this is, y'all don't think this is, that these are grown ass men coming to pick these girls up and some of them got pregnant by these grown ass men? All right, let's get into it, y'all. I'm sorry. That just popped in my head at the same time. You dig? All right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Feel present.
When I think about the amount of time that has passed based on how long you knew R. Kelly, I think so many people have wanted to hear from you for so long. How does it feel to not be Jane Doe anymore?
It feels very rewarding. It feels very liberating, which was a part of the reason why I wanted to write this book, because I really wanted to live in my true skin, in my true self.
And your true self today is what?
My true self today is Rashona Landfair, not Jane Doe, not Sean. It's who I am as a person, who I am as a mother, a friend, a daughter, a colleague, etc.
You dedicate this book to your dad, your son, and you say your inner self. Who else would you say this book is for?
This book is for every person who has gone through some sort of trauma or some sort of uncomfortable moment in their life where they blamed themselves, were ashamed or embarrassed to live in their true skin and just really took the faults of other people and, kind of hid behind that. So it was just really freeing for me, and I wanted to share my experience with people who have been in similar situations.
You obviously talk in this book about how it started. You don't start at the moment people start talking about you or knowing anything about who you are and who you're associated with. But you describe at length how it started. You mention your aunt, the artist Sparkle, who used to work with R. Kelly. I want to read some of it from, I think it was page 18.
So far, right? It seems a little scripted, and at least for Rashona, if that's her name, I'm sorry if I forgot her name that fast. It seems a little scripted, but I get it. I mean, shit, you had what, 20 years, I guess. It's been about 20 years, maybe. That sounds crazy. It's been about 20, maybe it's been 25 years probably, because it was an old tape. And then, damn, I don't know. By the time I came across it, and I didn't know it was on there. But I seen it. And yeah, for years, I was just like, yeah, R. Kelly did that shit. Like, it's a lot of people that I just can't go back and say, like, yeah, I seen something, but I seen it. I didn't want to see it. I mean, I was, shit, by that time, I was probably like 19, some shit like that, but still. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she had a long time to probably rehearse some of this stuff, but I don't blame her. You know what I mean?
You say in the book, the next time we're at the studio, this is what you say Sparkle said. You say your aunt told you the next time we're at the studio, you should ask Robert to be your godfather. Aunt
Wait
Sparkle
a
explained that I should
minute.
sit on next time we're at the studio.
Wait a minute.
You say in the book, the next time we're at the studio, this is what you say Sparkle said. You say your aunt told you the next time we're at the studio, you should ask Robert to be your godfather.
What? What kind of shit is that? Ask him.
Yo, the things people do when money is involved, bro. People would sell their children. People would just give their nieces and nephews away, all of those different things, just because money is involved. Listen to what she says.
Aunt Sparkle explained that I should sit on his lap and rub his head while I asked him to be my godfather. This instruction seemed sort of weird since I hadn't sat on his lap before, but I didn't question it.
Insane.
When you think back, is that where it all begins? Is that the start?
That is the start. That is the start of him entering into my life in a different way than just being an artist or hanging out at the studio. It became more personable at that.
Let me show y'all something. This is her as a little girl. Hopefully this damn they won't be now this is her, because I don't want to play the music because they might get me for copyright. This is her in the white there, in the cream, or we won't call it. Is that cream? This is her as a little girl. This is what R. Kelly was, and you know what? Let's get back to it.
Moment.
Because you yourself were an artist. You were a part of a rap group. You had toured Europe. You'd been to Europe. And it was your aunt, you said, that introduced the family to R. Kelly because he's this successful artist from Chicago. At this time, he's really starting to blow up. He left the group that he was in. And it was
Sorry about that, y'all.
interesting, exhilarating, fun to be around him. It's kind of how you describe it in the beginning. I mean, this is a big superstar, and you have
Yes.
access to him like, hey, I want to hang out in the studio. And at the time, in the beginning, he's treating you like a normal, excited kid that wants to learn more about the business.
Correct.
R. Kelly was married to Aaliyah at 14, 15 years old. I looked up her age. I think it was like 96 or something crazy like that when I looked it up. Yeah, and this is a reoccurring thing where parents are giving their children to this man.
So when do things turn? And I know you go into great detail, the early stages and why this is so complicated, your mindset at that time.
Well, during the time that I met him, I'm also a teenage girl who's going through puberty. And so some of the things that I was thinking or feeling were just normal expressions to, my maturity level at the time. And so it starts very innocent. It starts, being mesmerized and, like you said, like admiring this person. And then, it kind of gets a little deeper or more complicated when that person is able to, see what you can't see, the way you're developing, your conversation, your personality traits. So it kind of became more complicated when he started analyzing me and, the things that I was going through and who I was becoming as a person. And again, I was excited and mesmerized to, be under his wing and to be a part of his habitat. So that's how things kind of unfolded.
It's crazy.
Josh was just a creative
Who
guy
for the
with great ideas.
commercials? We ain't giving you nope. We are not giving y'all no play.
We know that things progressed beyond looking out for you as almost like
Oh, the name
a
of the
goddaughter.
group. See, I didn't have my chat up. My bad. The name of the group is called. This is the name. Hold on, right here. Let me see if I can scroll it up. For the Cause. Stand by Me. So they had a bunch of. Well, I can say a bunch. This is another one right here. I'm gonna see if I could pause the. Let's see. Here we go. I haven't seen this one yet, so. So it looked like she was in a group, but they were trying to get her to rap. Let me see if I play I'm play like 10 seconds of it. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna play because I don't want to get hit with no copyright. So, I don't want to get hit with no copyright. So yes, that was
And
the
it
group
turns
she
into
was in.
something more than that. I want to go and stay with your aunt Sparkle, who I've interviewed before. And she was the first person to really sort of say, you need to go check over there. Something's not right.
Right.
I think there's something going on that should not be going on. In the book, you describe social services coming to your home to do a welfare check. And your parents are shocked. They think perhaps maybe she's just jealous because she's no longer associated with R. Kelly. And then obviously 2001, 2002, we're talking about the tape. But why don't you think anyone believed your Aunt Sparkle when she first raised a red flag about a possible inappropriate relationship?
I don't think they believed her because there were no obvious signs of what was actually taking place. It was more coming from her end, maybe looking like a motive from, like you said, not being around him. And those kind of questions or concerns didn't happen until she was no longer a part of, his camp or the things that were taking place.
So that means, but from what if she's saying in this instance, she's saying my aunt didn't say anything until R. Kelly cut her off. Her aunt Sparkle, that did songs with R. Kelly, many songs with R. Kelly. Should I look it up right now? Sparkle R. Kelly. Okay, so that's all that's coming up. Okay, so be careful. That was the main one. That was the main song they did together. Let me see.
Any size, hot.
Shut up. Okay, yeah. This is it. Wait a minute. Can you hear?
Those kind of questions or concerns didn't happen until she was no longer a part of, his camp or the things that were taking place,
It's
her as an
crazy.
artist. That's when those questions.
So send your niece, your teenage niece, to this man, so you could keep your career and add on some more victims to his line or chain of women or girls, if you want to call it. And then when you get cut off, that's when you want to. That's insane. That's when you want to say something about what's going on with your niece. And you probably knew the whole time, because from what she's saying, she said, hey, go over there, go sit on this man's lap and tell him you want to be. You don't have to sit on his lap to tell him that. You could just told him that. Why does my hat look like it's crooked? I can't see like that. My screen is over here. The screen is here, but I got the camera here. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. That was a little. Let's get back to it.
Started to raise.
Chapter 7, you call it stress fractures. And you say it was a couple of weeks before your 17th birthday. You say, Robert told me the copies of one of the sex tapes of 14-year-old me were beginning to be sold on the streets of Chicago and across the country. Your reaction to that when you think about hearing those words from R. Kelly, that this tape is out there, and you were 14 years old?
I was empty. I was very hollow inside. I was very confused. Didn't know what to expect. And I was embarrassed.
I could just imagine. I imagine.
Read part of that in terms of
I couldn't imagine.
just sort of what you were feeling at that time. Because at some point, the remedy for this.
We got to remember, this is before all of these kids and teenagers and all of that stuff filming themselves. Because shit, I was filming myself back then, I ain't gonna lie. And it was on VHS just the same way. You know what I'm saying? And this is before all of that. And he was cut. He was, because I'm trying not to say it on here. I don't know how to say it without them hitting me, because there's certain words I can't say. He was doing, I just gotta say, doing things. He was doing things to these young girls on these videos that should, 1, never been done, 2, never been taped, 3, never been put out into the public, to the point where people were selling this shit. Like, it was in a collab video full of like different people, like Ashanti and Buffy the Body at the time, and all these other people. Like, it was all this other off the wall stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You can hear Robert in the song. I don't know what that means. But let's get back to it.
According to, you refer to him as Robert in the book, is that he wants to tell your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, Robert told me how he would tell my parents the truth about us. My mom and I were in one room, and my dad and Robert were in another. You go on to say some other things, but eventually you get to this part. After a while, Dad came storming out of the room, crying hysterically and cursing, saying to R. Kelly, "You're sick. I can't rock with you. I can't help you. You need to get help." He yelled at Robert, who followed us into the elevator and was on his knees crying. Man, I'm sorry. I just love her. So the hysterically and cursing in another. You go on to say some other things, but eventually you get to this part. After a while, Dad came storming out of the room, crying hysterically and cursing, saying to R. Kelly, "You're sick. I can't rock with you. I can't help you. You need to get help." He yelled at Robert, who followed us into the elevator, and was on his knees crying. "Man, I'm sorry. I just love her."
What kind of exchange is this? What kind of exchange is this? He tells you he's in. I'm so confused. I'm extremely confused.
So the turning point from innocent goddaughter running around just trying to learn the music industry to something more like you're trying to make sense of why he's calling you and saying, what are you wearing, this type of thing, to now you're confronted with something that's out there and he's saying the solution is just tell them. I know it looks crazy, but I believe you're my angel, as you refer to in the book. And your dad initially is upset. He's crying. He's confused. He doesn't know what's going on.
You don't know what's going on. Knock his head off. That's what's going on. It's simple. How is this even your
Why wasn't that the moment when you look back
how's
where
that
you
your
were not
response?
allowed to see R. Kelly anymore, be around him? Take us to why it was so complicated for you and your family and what you said to your parents.
It was very complicated. My dad wanted to make the right decision, and he was not okay with anything that took place. I was more under Robert's brainwash. I was more under his spell, and he utilized me against my parents, making threats of suicide and doing different things out of desperation to convince them to not turn on him. And because I had been groomed for so long to carry out this mission and also not want that girl on the videotape to be myself, I thought in my little mind that maybe that was the best approach. We felt more protected and had more resources and help through him than taking matters into our own hands with.
See, that's what it was. They gave her a false sense of security through him. Not only did he did it, but the family also did that. They were damn near codependent on him. That's why the father was able to just respond in that emotional manner instead of knocking his head off. Because there's no other way that you're supposed to respond. I'm sorry. And then he's coming out crying and on his knees saying, "Oh yeah, come on, that is insane."
This celebrity and the industry and not wanting to be the people to end R. Kelly and deal with hatred and many things. So, I mean, I'm not here to sugarcoat any shortcomings of my
Oh, sorry, y'all.
parents or myself, but at the time, that's what made us feel the safest.
You felt as though R. Kelly was holding all of the cards, had all of the power.
He did.
How did you make peace with your parents later? Because that's also something, I mean, even at the beginning of this interview, speaking of dedicating the book to him, and my condolences because I know he passed away in 2021. But how were you able at this age to make peace with everything that's happened and your parents' involvement?
When you become a parent, you have a different way of thinking. But I also look at the other women and the other survivors and the other, people who, he dealt with, who lost total communication with their parents and their families and literally lived everything that he made them think or everything that they made him feel.
Yeah.
So, in a sense of why it might be presented to look a certain way, my parents actually saved me. They're the reason why I'm sitting here today, Because if it had not been for them, if I lost complete communication with them and I was literally living his dreams, his brain, his way of thinking, I don't know where I would be.
Damn,
Mentally, physically, or emotionally.
that's insane, man.
When the trial started and the questions from federal investigators are coming, when you look back again, so much of this is people being able to try and understand it through your lens.
I'm not crying.
You're living it.
That's a
You're the
mind.
only one with this story. Why not tell the truth in 2002 or 2008 when there was finally a trial after 6 years?
That's one of my biggest regrets, not telling the truth. But again, when I have been trained and groomed since I was age 13, I started believing the lies that I was telling. It was very foggy and unclear on what I really felt versus what was right or what was wrong. And even in moments where I
crazy.
despised Robert, I still lied for him.
When I look back at that trial,
Stockholm syndrome.
even this idea that
She had some form of Stockholm syndrome with her abuser or her abuser or her victimizer. She started to fall in love with this man, which is, I mean, you know, it's the celebrity and all of that foolishness on top of that. But it's sad, man.
people who were not part of the jury were able to see some of that video. And the jokes that came from the video, because we're talking about seeing a person at the time, not knowing who it is, for sure, being urinated on and talked about. Do you look at even the justice system as not protecting you to some extent? I mean, thinking about that video being played before a gallery of everyday citizens.
I definitely think things could have been handled differently. I'm happy I wasn't there to witness everyone watching that. You know, to the world imagery, I was not made to be a victim. I was a mockery. And that was very difficult to digest. It was very disheartening to know that my body was just being displayed and tossed around. And, you know, when I look back on it, I wish things could have been done differently, but those are all of the things that I had to internalize.
How were you able to sit through the trial in the parking lot? Because I think to know that you were so close.
Whoa. What's that?
Ooh,
I just
for
built
the
a budgeting app from base
commercials.
24.
I got so locked
You
in
just
it.
built an app.
Impossible.
To the trial that could have put R. Kelly away back then, and listen to his instruction. Don't watch television. Don't read the paper. I mean, this wasn't the same, you know, social media wasn't a thing in 2008 the
Right.
way that it is now. But take us back to, and I know you're going to get a lot of these types of questions because most of this book is based on the past and how you've been able to come out of it. But take us back to what it was like being in a van and knowing that just a few hundred feet away, his life was on the line.
That was very scary. I didn't understand why he wanted me there, why he made those choices, but
Oh, he asked her to be there?
I just went with the program. It was very difficult because I would also be paranoid, like, what if somebody raids the bus, or what if, you know, the wrong person walks on here? But I don't know if he did it for comfort, of not wanting, you know, of being afraid of me just having the freedom to just walk out if I wanted to.
Right.
But he kept me very close in that way.
That's
What was your
crazy.
reaction to that 2008 not guilty verdict? You talk about it in the book, but tell us how you were really feeling at that time.
I felt happy for him. I didn't want to see his career end. I didn't want to see him taken from his family. I thought things were going to change for him, for us. I thought things would just get a lot better.
So that means years later they were still dealing with each other? Oh no.
Wait, what? So he was still sleeping with this girl years after that?
Yo, he's getting away with
I thought this was our
some
freedom to
despicable
just be
crimes.
family and to, all of the different traumas and me having to hide and disguise myself and be lonely and away from my family. I thought that was closure to all of the negative things that he kind of made me feel like had to happen during this case that lasted for so many years.
And at this point, too, you're in your 20s.
Right.
So you're thinking, yeah, this stuff happened, but, this is our chance to reset.
Right.
But what actually happened?
Things got worse. And then I started realizing that I had been used and utilized for a purpose, that I was a placeholder, that I was here to make sure Robert didn't go to jail. Not because he loved me, not because he was my protector, or because I was his angel. My purpose was done. He was finished.
And you talk about moving out and starting your own, going on vacation, really getting a taste of what it is to be independent. But even though you left R. Kelly, you left the home, you never quite left his orbit. Explain.
That was definitely me operating out of cognitive dissonance. It was more so like I knew things were wrong. I knew everything that I went through, but this is all I've known for the majority of my life. This is the behavior.
So he was still sleeping with this girl after all them years. That is insane.
That was my normal, and that I felt like was okay. So I was kind of afraid to operate outside of him. I didn't know what to do. I had to literally learn myself from a 12-year-old girl up into who I was to today.
Yeah. And that was hard to
It was very
completely let
difficult.
go. January 3rd, 2019, Surviving R. Kelly airs. Did you see all 6? It's a 6-part series. Did you see all of it?
I
or
don't
just some
I
of
don't
it?
know if I saw all of it, but I saw enough.
And you thought then,
That was the spirit of conviction came over me during that moment.
because of that documentary, that docuseries.
Yes.
And when you say the spirit of conviction, what do you mean by that?
Somehow I felt responsible that he was able to hurt so many more people. During the time, I thought maybe these were just sexual fetishes that he had with me. Maybe this was just abuse I was going through. But when I saw that his behavior had gotten so much worse,
Yeah.
and
Man.
he was allowed to hurt so many people because I lied, that did not sit well with me as an adult, as a woman.
Is that the moment you decided you were going to cooperate with federal investigators?
Yes. It was in that moment. I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
It was a breaking point for me, for sure.
I really want people to understand your perspective about how difficult this was and the psychological factor, because you put it out there in the book because you want people to understand it. It's almost like you're talking to the reader at times when you say, now listen, I know you might think this, or even the way you've protected folks.
She was a
in the
child,
book. You
man.
don't really go
And she was groomed to
in about things you
She was
clearly
definitely-
know. It's almost like you are saying, I want to stick to
she was definitely groomed into all of the foolishness. And it seems like with all of them, all of the girls that was in that little harem or clan or whatever you want to call it of his, the same story is the parents, man, where the parents are not doing anything. And they're not doing anything like physical. They just I don't know. I don't know. I just seen too much where it's like, yo, what are you doing?
my story and I don't want to make judgment on other people for their decisions.
That is right.
But you talk about this conflict of a back and forth, even with the text messages that the defense showed in court to say, wait a minute, they were texting like, hey, how's it going? Are you good? I'll call my mom. She recently lost her mom. And, they're trying to create this image that you're fine. For people that don't understand what that's like, to be you and in that position, help folks understand this, you say the cognitive dissonance, but also this back and forth dance of trying to tell yourself, I'm good, I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's why we're cool. Almost like you almost have to have that power too to say,
To
you don't have
convince
power
myself.
over me because see, look, we're good. You can text me and I'll text you back.
That is very true. And what I will say about that is not everything about Robert was terrible, even though it was that way most of the time. Not everything about him. This was a person that I did feel like I loved and that I grew into loving. And he was family in some areas. Not everything about him was terrible. The moments were, though, very frequently. But
This is sad.
it was just a battle of me convincing myself, like, I made it out. I'm good now. I can be cool with him. I can see him with other women. I tried to maintain whatever friendship. I still loved his children. And, honestly, I cared about his well-being, even outside of just, like everything that was happening. So it was a battle internally for me to fully, let go of somebody that I had been
He messed this young
groomed
girl
into
up.
fully
He messed
being
this young
dependent
girl up.
upon.
In March of that same year, so shortly after the R. Kelly docuseries comes out on Lifetime, Gayle King sat down with him and the two women that he was in a relationship with at the time. Did
We're gonna
happen
get
to
into
see
that.
I did.
When you saw him react in the way that he did about this, you're trying to take my life, and I thought about playing that for you, but I don't even want you to have to see him because I think it's not necessary. But when you saw that version of him, as you talk about, it wasn't like this all the time. But did you feel for him, or did you think he's going down and he's scared?
Well, first I thought it was very Broadway of him to act like that. That was
It
very
was
normal
definitely
for
was.
him to have that type of response. And when I heard those girls speak, I knew who was talking through them. I knew exactly what mission they had, the convincing, the firmness, everything that I had been trained and groomed to do. I read right in between that. And in that moment, I did not feel sorry for him at all. I felt like you still don't get it. You're still convincing yourself of all the lies that you are, bleeding into everyone else. And I knew exactly what took place was getting ready to happen. And he was very scared. He knew it too.
As you
He
sit
definitely
here
was.
today,
That's why he wilded out like that.
do you feel like you are completely healed?
Fool for the commercials. We ain't promoting none of this. None of that.
I'm a work in progress. I have a long road ahead of me, but I can look back and I know exactly where I come from. And I can see the stars now.
I wanted you to, if you would, read something that I think would be best if we heard it from you. And this is the grace note. I highlighted this section because, I'm not going to make you read all 3 or 4 pages.
Okay.
But I think it would be important to hear this in your own words
Yes, that's fine.
and the last part,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wrote a book, y'all.
Dear beautiful soul, it's you. It's always been you. You were the girl with saucers for eyes, and the world was a buffet spread out in front of you. You were the girl who spit rhymes and played basketball with all you had. You loved your parents and especially your baby brother. You loved going to church. You were a friend. Rashona Landfair. Don't believe yourself not to be good enough. There is no yardstick for good enough. You were a girl, perfectly imperfect human being. You could not have lived your life in reverse. There was no way for you to know what you know now. So if you don't remember anything else, remember that children don't protect themselves from danger.
Facts.
Let go and let God. No one else holds power over your mind, body, or spirit. It's taken a while for you to arrive at the sure footing of this knowledge, but it's a good place to be. This is your moment. It's good to be you. God willing, you have more living and loving and growing to do. Go live in your truth and walk in your light.
Well, damn. Yeah, that one is super heavy, man. Yeah, that one is super heavy. Give me a second. We are going to go to the next video, which is her aunt, Sparkle, speaking on some of these situations that she kind of fostered in. I ain't gonna lie to you. She kind of helped groom her niece in this whole situation. I mean, even by what she said in that last video. I don't know if it's true, but hey, that's what she said it was. So just got to go by what she said, right? And let's go by what Miss Sparkle said.
Watching In This Room on Madame Noir. Well, we'll say this first. The documentary was good, and it gave a lot of information I didn't even know. But a few things that I particularly wanted to expound upon was the fact that I didn't leave my niece in the studio by herself, number one. I saw her that evening walking into the studio to record for my album. And in seeing her, I was just like, wait, what you doing here? Who's with you? Because I didn't see anybody. And she was like, oh, I was dropped off. And I was like, huh? Immediately got on the phone with my sister. What y'all doing? Why is she down here by herself? And then maybe 30 minutes to an hour later, my brother-in-law was walking in the door. So I never, ever left my niece alone, anywhere for that matter. Another piece that I think was left out actually, is that I just introduced my niece to Robert, which was not true. Yes, I did introduce her, but I introduced a bevy of family to him. I introduced her correctly. Her parents brought her down to the studio, and that's where the introduction happened. It wasn't her by herself. It wasn't me picking her up, and her parents came, and that's how the introduction happened. Like I stated, I introduced most of my family to Robert because we're a musical family, you know what I'm saying? And he had just gotten the green light on a new situation at Interscope Records, where he was taking me, and where my debut album actually came.
So that means everyone was looking for a record deal. Everyone was willing to pretty much sell their souls for this record deal. That's how I look at it. From the father standpoint, from this standpoint, that's all they were worried about. They knew he got a big deal. Since he got a big deal, shoot, he gonna have some money to spend on that from that big deal. Come on.
And I wanted him to possibly put my family on. You know what I mean? Bless them like he was blessing me. Bring them into stardom as he was about to do with me. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't want to be selfish with my gift. I wanted to spread the love, like I stated, because we are a musical family. And, maybe he could position them in some spots that were unfilled yet. Because having a new situation, you're going to need some bodies, right? You're going to need some, extra hands or some extra artists. So, my niece was a dope rapper at the time. My other nieces and nephews that I introduced him to also They had great success overseas, and so maybe he can bring them on, as artists. My brother-in-law, who I introduced him to, which was my niece on the tapes, father, he plays guitar, dope guitarist. I begged Robert to give him, a try. He did, and he's on many of his CDs now. So yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to clear up, and also about the Andrea situation, Robert's ex-wife, the situation where I speak about. I hear somebody knocking, and he does a come on. She peeps out and says, "Can I come get something to eat?" Mm. She's coming down the stairs, and I am staring at Robert like, "How dare you? How dare you? You are a piece of work." And he saw he felt me because he kept looking at TV, right? But when he felt it, he looked over at me and he just started, and I was like, forgive my language, nigga, that shit ain't funny.
So he had his wife begging to come out of the room to to be fed or to eat? Wow.
And I said those words to him, and I said, how dare you? So I wanted to clear that up, so. Let's go there. 89, I met Robert. A girlfriend of mine took me down to the studio, and she wanted me to sing for him. I didn't sing that particular time. So 89 to 92 had no really interaction with Robert at all. I would see him out in clubs here and there, whatever, but no interaction. 92, I started dating one of the guys in Public Announcement, which led me back to Robert. And he got to hear me sing at that particular time and wanted me to come down to the studio to sing some backgrounds for a new artist that he was working with. Unbeknownst to me, it was Aaliyah. Got to work and do most of the backgrounds on her album, crazy. Except for AJ None But a Number. And at that point, I was working a 9-to-5 job, okay? I was leaving that job, coming to the studio to do another job. And there was very little. Me and Aaliyah interacted, a little bit, but I was there to do a job. So there wasn't much interaction. She was around the studio. There were 3 other girls who Robert had brought on prior to me, and they were the group called Second Chapter. I don't know if you listen to Aaliyah's first album and you hear reference of the group Second Chapter. Those are the girls who were backing Aaliyah up, kind of like a R. Kelly in Public Announcement, if you will. So yeah, I didn't see anything out of the ordinary in that time. This was 92 when I came back around and I started singing the backgrounds for her debut album. Now, mind you, her uncle, Barry Hankerson, is there. He's Robert's manager. Her parents are there. I wasn't thinking of, or even think to look for anything, at that particular time. So, I was there to do the job. Like I said, I would go home, come back, and do the, same job over and over again until we were done with the Aaliyah project. And then I had no connection or any, dealings with Robert until 1996. So I wasn't there a steady period of time to see anything. You know what I mean? And in 96, when I was called upon to do more background, I, was singing in the studio, doing the background, what have you. And 2 songs in, he came into the booth with me and he was like, look, we're not just going to be working on anybody's CD this time. This is yours. And I'm like, whoa, all right, let's go. Of course, I was elated by it because I'm like, I'm about to work on my own stuff now. This is about to be great. So that happened, 96, going to 97 is, I want to say 97 is the year I introduced my niece to him. Early 97, I do believe. And then there was a hiccup. And the hiccup was I had a boyfriend. Robert didn't want me to have a boyfriend. Now, mind you, Robert liked me, of course. Not of course, but Robert liked me. And I wasn't giving in to his advances toward me. He was a handsome guy, but I wouldn't go there. You know what I mean? And it was just something about him too. But Anywho, there was a situation where Robert has told me that he was taking only me to Interscope Records and not the other acts that he had kind of brought in. And they would be staying on Jive Records. So now I told someone about this, and that person went back and told Robert that I told. Then the fact that I had a boyfriend, he didn't want me to have a boyfriend. This all played into his, I guess, insecurity. And he decided to take my deal away from me.
Damn.
And this went on for some months. We didn't speak. He, he didn't call. I didn't call him. And then a meeting was to take place. Someone called a meeting to get us back into good graces. And I'm certain it was probably something to do with Interscope Records, because they had spent out a pretty penny on me. I had done the Be Careful video already. The promotions and stuff had kind of started. So they would be losing money if he were to do this. So a meeting was called, and we met at a hotel near the O'Hare Airport in Chicago. Barry Hengerson, which was his manager at the time, Robert, me, and I wanted my parents to come with me. Then my sister, with the girl in the tape, and my brother-in-law also came, because now they're like this. They thick as thieves right now. Without me, I'm not in the picture. You know what I mean? They stayed. And a couple other family members also were there. Barry Hankerson and Robert, me, and my parents. The meeting got along. Barry Hankerson was doing a lot of the talk.
You know what? I'm going to end this live stream, y'all. I'm tired. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm tired as hell. I'm tired as hell. And my energy has been low for the last few days, and I'm trying to figure out why. But I'm going to end this live stream. It's really not even nobody on here anyway. You already know, like, comment, subscribe, man. It's your boy, Curse, man. And I'm out.